Welcome to All About The Gers. Brought to you by our sponsors. The JR Group. Plugged In Business Solutions. DB Dental Care. Reflex Blue. The Right Software. Dev Provider. And Avia Signs. Our chosen charity partner is the Second Chance Project. We are now official agents for the Rangers Lotto. Find out more at www.allaboutthegers.co.uk.
Hello and welcome to All About The Gers. Myself, Ricki, Neill. Once again, a big thank you to all our sponsors. And it's only the two of us tonight because Charlie's out in the bevy. How you doing?
Where is he? He's out in the bevy again.
I know, but he's away for a good cause. He's away to that charity.
He's away to Bilbao, I've heard.
He's probably.
He's not gone the conventional route. He's decided to go by boat, I've heard.
Starting off at Saturday Sings first. He's away to Mark Somerville's charity for the MND, you know. So it turns out Charlie's actually an ambassador for the motor new runs disease. So I didn't know that.
Good. Well, that's good, isn't it? That's like, well, listen. It's a great cause, isn't it? So the ambassador role, that's a new one for me. I'd love to see him in the ambassador gear, the Charlie boy. But that's a great thing that he said. I thought he might have been off ski. I thought he might have been away to Spain with the rest of the punters. Most of them headed out today, didn't they, Ricki? I saw that quite a few of them.
Aye. My good friend John Hill that owns Flower of Scotland in Ventura, he's already there. I think he's there for a week. I was slagging him earlier.
My boys are out tomorrow morning. Early start, so I think they're off about just before 6 in the morning. Aye. So I think they're buzzing for it.
I can imagine.
I could even tell when they come in for work tonight. You can tell when they're buzzing about something, so they're heading out. But they're only there for a day, well, into Friday morning, so they're looking forward to it, and so we should be.
Aye, definitely. How long are they going for?
Just a day they'll be back, so it's out tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, and they're back early Friday morning, so I don't know if I'm picking them up for the airport or whether they've got other arrangements sorted out, but nah. But, well, they might be back, sorry, I'll take that back, they might be back on Friday morning, because if everything goes to plan, I know that they've said that they probably won't come back. Which I love that. That's different class, isn't it? Well, there's no work. There's no work on Friday. They're at the weekend, so we get the right result. Why come back? Stay away for a few days and enjoy yourself with the rest of the Bears.
I wouldn't like coming back in that flight the same day, by the way. That'd be pretty messy, especially if they win. I think I would be staying a few days.
Aye, I know. I think they have got a hotel. They're in a hotel, but I mean, they'll probably no sleep if we get the right result tomorrow night. Well, that's just what you're saying. You'll just party on into the night, and then the next thing it'll be time to go home. So I've said to them, I says, if you can do it, stay for another day or two. Why no?
Saying that, they were pretty sensible in Seville compared to us too.
Oh, well, I know. Listen, we got it all wrong, didn't we? In every aspect. Thought we were doing well to go and prepare 5-6 days beforehand, saying that we were going to behave ourselves, we weren't going to have a drink. But it all changes, doesn't it? It's once you meet people, you bump into, you're in good company, you bump into people that you know. You can't help it, but that's the beauty. That's the beauty of going away to watch your team, or if you're going anywhere with the boys. It's such a buzz, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. But sorry, we weren't on last night. I was in hospital for that mad colonoscopy, which was
you're not getting into details, are you? Jeez,
oh no, definitely. But you know what it's like. You turn 50, and I think it's like 2 days later they send you through a wee bill screen as thing. So it was right to get done, but I was all right. But that's an experience.
Well, I'm nearly 50, and I'm not even going to tell you what I went through. So it's no pleasant. There it is, and it's only going to get worse, I think.
But make sure you get checked when you're 50, because
of course, it's a sensible thing to do. But
It wasn't that. I was about to say it wasn't that bad, but I wouldn't recommend
I don't
it.
say you enjoyed that. That's
No,
even
no,
gotten too far.
Anyway, let's move on to football. Aberdeen game. Barry started with a different 11, which was probably expected by most. You know, he started with Kelly and goals, McCausland, Nasala, Proper, Rafa Fernandez, Curtis, Connor Barron, captain, decided, which I thought that's quite good for him.
That was brilliant, wasn't
it? Bajrami, Cortez, Danilo, Hamza, Igaman as well. But what was that response? The abuse Barham was getting for the Aberdeen fans.
Listen, and I think it was. I quite liked the fact that he was made captain because the young man, he left Aberdeen. I think Barry even says that he left Aberdeen for a reason, and the reason was to better himself. And Rangers says they don't want to hear it, but it is a step up in his career. He's playing with better players. Financially, it'll be better from everything. You know, going to Rangers Football Club. There you go. Look, he's away playing in Europe tomorrow night. So no, I thought it was quite clever. They make him captain. It noised a few the Aberdeen supporters up, but it doesn't take much to noise them up because we all know what that fixture is like. The dislike, the hatred, you want to call it that. We know it's there in abundance. So it was but I quite enjoyed that he was captain, but certainly didn't enjoy some of the other performances for some of the players in that first half. I mean, I always thought Barry, Neill and Billy, when they go together and they bang their heads together, that they've always obviously had an eye on the Thursday night game. So there was going to be a few changes. I didn't think quite so many, but it's a hard decision because, as we all know, it's all about Europe. So these players were given their opportunity, Ricki. So, and it doesn't matter how you get your opportunity. You have got to grasp it. And far too many of them just didn't grasp it. You look through the team, you know, even Fernandez, it's a shame the boy gets off injured. But then you look across the middle of the park, Bajrami, I don't know if you've had a look back at the Aberdeen second goal. I didn't notice it at the time because I was sitting in company watching the game. But it's only when you go back and you watch how it unfolds. And I'm talking from a midfield perspective. I thought he was an absolute shambles in his reaction to how that second goal was scored. So I don't know if you've had a look at it. Look at it. Look at it back. You'll see. So I've seen something that I couldn't quite believe, honestly. So, and I'm sure when the guys went through the footage, I think they would have been pretty angry. I was pretty angry. The reason I didn't get, see when you're sitting in company and you're having a couple of beers and you're all together and all that, you don't quite. That's why I like sitting watching a game myself, Ricki. Do you know that? Because you soak in. Whether if you're not at the game, I'd rather sit in the house and watch it. Because if you're in whether it's a pub, a club, or you're in with a lot of people, you don't see it. But it was shocking. But it was a poor first half performance, wasn't it?
Aye. Do you know, you said something just right at the start when you were talking there, and it's like you can imagine Barry actually saying to them before the start of the game, listen, I'm giving you a chance here, you know, don't kind of backfire on me kind of thing, you know, because when you think about it, new owners coming in, you know, loads of the players are at risk of getting sold out of the club. You know, you would think they would be trying 110%, you know what I mean?
And that's it, you know, it's that's what I try to get across. It doesn't matter how you get your opportunity, but when you do get your opportunity, take it, give it your best, because some of the boys, I don't know if they're feeling a wee bit sorry for themselves. Well, if you are, hey, Rangers Football Club isn't the place for you guys, because you can't feel like that. And the thing is, you're not in the side for a reason. Where it's coming back for injury, that's maybe curtails your appearances, but maybe it's because the boys in front of you are maybe playing better, or maybe the manager thinks that they're better than you. So that's your opportunity to go and prove the manager wrong. Show the fans what you're all about, and just far too many of them. They just didn't turn up in that first half.
I know. There's Philip Gage actually asking, I wonder if Butland will return. You know, and Kelly's not done anything wrong the past two games.
Well, the free kick. I mean, it was a terrific free kick for the boy. But do you know, see when you see it, he gets a good hand to it. It could have been a wee bit stronger. But then I don't think, because it was a big decision last week with bringing Kelly in, and he done ever so well. So he could have probably done better with the free kick. But concerning tomorrow night, Ricki, I don't think he will go back to Butland. I think he sees Kelly at the present, as a first choice keeper. So I'm afraid Butland might just need to be a wee bit more patient.
See, to be fair to Butland, he's the first one on the pitch after it. Always congratulating him and all that, so it's a good kind of bit of loyal support.
Well, it's important, Ricki. I mean, obviously, goalies are a different breed in terms of, they go away and they work with each other. So there'll be 3 or 4 of the goalies. So there becomes a real bond between them. Sometimes you don't see that with outfield players, quite the same bond. But that's what I'm trying to say. You look at keepers. I can only go with my experiences when I was playing. You would only see the keepers when you get small-sided games or whatever, or else it was close and finishing. The keepers would come in, but they would always go away themselves for about an hour and work themselves. So that bond has created that friendship. So you can see that they want each other to do well.
Aye. There's Kevin Robbie saying, how can young players learn when those are playing beside are not up to standard, which is pretty true, because what must they be thinking now? I mean, half of them must be thinking, I'm so much better than that guy on the field,
And that's the way you should think, but the other side of it is the guys that are maybe a wee bit more experienced than you, a wee bit older, give them that respect, but don't think you're not good enough. Don't think you should be playing second fiddle. That's the type of mentality that I think the guys want to bring to the Rangers squad. Have that mentality. Don't be happy when you're not playing, right? So there'll be a disappointment, but then there's the professionalism kicks in, and saying you take that in the chin for the 5 or 10 minutes, you'll be like, you're a bit gutted, but then you think, right, hold on a minute, the bigger picture, we need to win 3 points. We want to gain a bit of momentum. We're getting into this big European game. So you want the players to do well first and foremost. So that's really important that you kind of get that. So it's a fine balance between being disappointed and then obviously hoping that your teammates do the job for you.
Aye. So we stopped the title party just for a wee while. What a goal by Haji.
Oh, it was it was brilliant, wasn't it? And it was such a difficult one because they're so easy to sky out the bar. So thought Desers was just going to put it away. So it was a wee bit fortunate where it rebounded to, but no, he's got that in his locker, Haji, hasn't he, Ricki? We know that. And there was all that talk about Haji now wanting away, that he sees his career, his football career away for Rangers, and then he was quick to come out after the game and say, no, don't know where that story came from. But I just like Haji in terms of, he gives you everything, doesn't he? And then he's got that quality in his place. Now, it was a brilliant goal and right to the death.
I have to admit that minutes before it, I was in a group chat with my mates, and I was actually saying I think Haji should be one of the ones that leaves at the end of the season. So, I mean, I think he's been all right recently, and I thought he was always good in Europe, but I just didn't think he'd done it in the Scottish games. But when he came back there, I thought he was really good for the first maybe 3-4 games, but he kind of dipped again. But it was typical. As soon as I said that, he scored a peach, So,
Ricki, you've got to remember with the boy that injury that he had. He was out the game for about a year and a half. So that injury takes its toll on you, not just physically but mentally. So he maybe took a wee bit longer to recover. But I just think when he does put on the jersey, when he plays for us, I genuinely believe what he says when he says he loves the club. I do. I think he gets it. He knows what it's all about. I think the only disappointment for him is he wants to be a first team regular. Will he be that? I mean, it's hard to know, isn't it?
Aye. Just a few transfer rumours. I don't know if you know much about that young boy Jesse Jesse Derry, the 17-year-old.
Crystal Palace.
Palace, he scored 20 goals in the past 27 games. I think his last goal was against Portugal for the under-21s, you know. But it turns out Celtic are interested in him as well, and there's a few clubs outside. You know, have you heard much of him now?
I don't. Again, and that's how these guys that are in the recruitment, that's their job to know about these boys, know that they're just going out of contract, which I'm surprised at. You know, you're saying he's a 17-year-old and he's just going out of contract. And if he's the talented boy that we're all hearing about, he should be on a longer contract. So I don't know what Crystal Palace are up to. Because you must know that yourself. If you get a young player that you think can go right to the top, is going to be value to the club, you put him on a long-term contract. So if that boy's going out of contract, it's a strange one. But there seems to be a few of them sniffing about. So there does. So no, but and to answer your question, no, I don't know too much about the boy.
Do you know, there's quite a lot of people in group chat talking about players that they think should be like sold for Ibrox, and this should be their last season.
Mm-hmm.
Cortez, you know, that's a crazy one. You know, it's a big contract that they might need to sign. But there's Blue Jay. He's saying Bajrami is one I'd definitely be looking to get rid of in the summer. Apart from 2 good games, man, Mark McGregor, he's been so poor. You know?
See on Bajrami, I would urge the viewers to go and watch that second goal that Aberdeen scored to build up to it. I think it's a misplaced pass for Barron. Barron's reaction is good, where he shoots across and he's trying to organise and try to defend. Bajrami turns his back and walks away, and then when the play's developing, he doesn't even sprint back. He jogs back, even if it is a jog. It's just from my perspective as a midfield player. I mean, as soon as you lose possession of the ball, you know, your instinct is get goal side, see what's happening, can I snuff out the danger? How can I help my teammates? There was nothing of that. And it really it's upped me big time. So he could be one of them. Proper as well. I don't see a future for Proper. When Philip Clement brought him to the club, I thought he was going to be one of our leaders, a real strong player for us. And I don't know if you agree, Ricki. He's been anything but. You know, he seems to be a bit of a weak link.
Aye, do you know, I was the same because he was captain of his previous team, you know, so you're thinking he must be, as you said, a leader, you know, but he actually looks nervous when he's on the field.
Aye, looks nervous. And that's just how sad I am. Even at times when I've been at games, maybe he's not been involved, I'll watch the subs or the guys that maybe not took part in the game. Now, they do a bit of running after the game. I've sat and watched them and looking at him and thinking, he doesn't look quick, his mobility doesn't look great, you know, and he's only 30, 31, isn't he? Listen, there's a number of reasons. We don't want to slate him too much, you know, because I think we might need to use him at times going towards the end of the season. But I don't see a future for Proper. If we want to go where we want to go in terms of hitting the heights, I don't think Robin Proper's going to be good enough for us.
Who else? I mean, what about Tav? Because I actually think he's played well the past couple of months.
Do you know, I think Tav's been really good defensively.
Aye.
Where's that came from? Where's that? Why has that not been there the last 3-4 years? Because we all know how good Tav is going forward. Everything he stats, his goals, the goals he provides. And then you always looked at him and you're thinking, how's he no better defensively? And just over the last couple of months, he looks at it, didn't he? There's a bit of bite in his tackles. He's starting to kind of have a better awareness of what's running about him. You know, he's scanning a wee bit. He's having a wee look around him. He's reacting far better. So, listen, he's getting a testimonial, isn't he?
Is he getting one? Aye.
I thought he was getting a testimonial, and I'd like us to hold on to Tav, you know, for at least another season. Because we see go gung ho and get rid of a whole load of them, but you've got to retain some of the guys that have got that experience and that know the club. And he is our captain, so I think he's going to get a testimonial. I mean, I hope I'm right, but if he does, I would probably think he would get another year's contract.
Do you know what? I have changed my mind about Tav. I didn't really want him to stay on. I thought he'd stayed a season too long, but the past 3-4 months, I think he's turned into a different player.
Well, we missed the boat in terms of selling him and get a few bob. So he's still performing pretty well. I think as we're just talking about it, he's get better a wee bit better defensively. So we're not going to make anything on him. So why use him? For even some of the other guys that are maybe going to come to the club. He's been there. He's done it. He's got a bit of experience. He's been our captain. So we can use him in a different way. So because we missed the boat with quite a number of other players over the last number of years that we should have sold at certain times and made a few bob. So that's not going to happen now.
There's Paul McCorrickle saying, massive game tomorrow. I hope Barry picks the correct team. Ricki, do you know what's up with Lawrence? We haven't seen him since he scored. I don't actually know why. Do you know anything about Lawrence? Why he's not been in?
No, I mean, even think about was it Fenerbahce game? He comes on, he takes a penalty and plays the last wee bit. He must have picked up a niggle. That's it. Or maybe we don't know. He's no well. We don't know. Maybe a wee virus going about. But I don't think has Barry been asked the question. I don't think anybody's asked that. So he's not even been on the bench. So there must be something there. But then again, it might be something in his private life. Maybe that's why they've maybe said to the press on the quiet, listen, don't ask certain questions. Just we want to keep it quiet. We don't know. That's the answer.
Derek, somebody's been checking your profile on Wikipedia. Philip Gage, what's the crack with Derek playing for Portadown FC? According to his Wikipedia, he scored once in 6 games. Who did he score against?
I can't even remember. I can't remember yesterday, as you know. But do you want to know why I went there and played with Portadown? And it was an absolute pleasure to go and play with the guys. The guys were brilliant with me. I was coming back for injury, and I was at party. It was John Lambie. John Lambie was great with me. So John says, go out to Northern Ireland and go and play with Portadown and get some match practice. Well, I did get some matches in. Didn't get too many touches to the ball because it was back to front. So it was and it was rather physical. I didn't mind the physical, but it was I had a sore neck. I mean, the ball was just getting lundered back and forward. So it was so. But the guys were magic with me. So they were. I've always remember that. They put us. I went there on a Friday night, stayed there on a Friday night, and then played them. So that was a wee short spell. I was in Portadown. Magic people.
Good. Right, obviously we've got the second leg tomorrow at 8 o'clock. As you can see, a few people are already kind of worried about the team selection, but he has got a few players out as well. Who would you line up with?
We've just spoke about the goalkeeping situation. Who are you planting for?
I don't know.
Kelly. I'm going Kelly. I think he'll stick with Kelly.
I think I would say Kelly as well.
I think he'll go with maybe Tav might come into that back three. Shooter's back in Balogun. So you've got a bit of pace in Shooter and Balogun and strength. And we've just spoke about Tav. Tav's been better defensively. He seems more switched on. The wing back areas is going to be, I don't know the situation with Yilmaz. It's not been my cup of tea. I mean, I've been pretty open and honest about that. But listen, needs must. So I hope the wee fella, probably, I think he might get a start if he comes in there tomorrow night. Hopefully he's bang on the money and does a job for us. Maybe Yefty on the other side. I think they might go with him. I'm not sure. But certainly in the middle, you're going to go with Raskin and Diamandi. Then maybe further when you go on Cherny. Cherny's been top notch for us in Europe. He's been different class. Dezers will lead the line. They didn't like playing against Dezers last week. He was annoying him. I think he kind of spooked him a wee bit. And I think the last place you're looking at maybe is Haji. Because Haji will come in. He's got just a game that we've been talking about. I think it's the attitude that he's got. He's got a good attitude. He can score a goal for absolutely nowhere, out of nothing. And the quality he's got. So I think we've got a real threat there. When you look at Cherny, Haji, and Dessers, they will cause them a problem, and I think Barry and Billy and Neill, they'll make the players aware that we're not going to dominate possession. They'll have more of the ball. But when we hit them on the break, or they call it transition now, can we do it with pace, but can we do it with a bit of quality? And I think in Europe, the guys have showed that. So, but the worry for me would be, can we shut up shop? And I think we can, because I don't know what you thought, Ricki, last week. I expected them to be a bit better. I thought there would be more speed in their play. I thought they would be a little bit more direct for what I heard. But I thought they were just okay. You know,
I was the same. I thought they were really kind of quite lethargic as well. You know, it was like I was expecting something really special, because they're doing really well in their own league now as well. You know,
well, they're fourth in the league, so it's. But I don't know. It's just when you watch a team for the first time, and maybe it was that expectation we're hearing so much about the wide players. But then when you go up against quality teams, well, so-called quality teams, for me, there's always one or two players, certainly in the middle of the park, that you go, wow, he's a player. I didn't see that in them. Right. So that's why they look laboured, they look one-paced, and that's why I pretty much get my hopes up tomorrow that we can...
There's William Henderson saying he's watched them numerous times this season and they don't actually score many goals.
Oh, right. So there you go. You know, and listen, it's still a hard one. The more, of course, it is. You know, they're at home. They'll be better. They've got to be better, because, as I say, I thought they were pretty ordinary. So, and I think they've had a wee bit of maybe I was hearing a wee bit of a hard time for their own press. Because obviously, when we go down to 10 men, they're probably expected to go, yep, they dominated, but go and beat us, you know, come away for Ibrox with a win. They didn't. So maybe they've got there's a wee negative in there, even in their mentality. So we've just got to, we'll maybe not get a lot of chances, but I think if we do get those opportunities, we've got to take them. This is where Dessers is going to, which he showed. He's got to show that quality tomorrow night if we're going to win this game.
You know, a few people are letting me know their teams, so I'll just shout some of them out. Here's Paul's team. Paul's Kelly, Tav, Suter, Balogun, Ridvan, Raskin, Diomande, Haji, Jeffrey, Journey and Igaman, playing as a 4-3-3. And then Nicholas, he's saying Kelly, Tav, Suter, Balogun, Jeffrey, Barron, Diomande, Haji, Igaman and Journey. So he's only playing with 10 players, so he is. He's played a...
Do you know that there's the one player, and I don't think Barry will play him, Igaman. I would like to see Igaman in there, but I just fancy Dessers, because I don't think they enjoyed playing against Dessers last week. I know Igaman's got that physicality as well, but it's just at times it's that running power going in behind, and I think that's what we're... Because as I say, this is where we can catch them out. As I'm saying, on the transition, when we win the ball, I think what you'll see is maybe Dessers just peeling away, spinning and hitting the space in behind. And I think Dessers is a wee bit better than that. Igaman always likes to come to the ball. He likes the ball at his feet. He does his wee flicks and tricks, which he's brilliant at. But that's how I think he'll go with Dessers. But I'm an Igaman fan. I would always try and shoehorn him into my side, to be honest with you. So if I was, the reason I went with Haji, because I went with the front, kind of, if you want to call it a front three, Cherny and Haji in behind Dessers. If I was at home, it would be a Cherny and it would Igaman just in behind Dessers, or even Igaman quite close to Dessers. But we'll need to see, this is where we don't know injury wise, because we've not saw Yilmaz, we're touching on a few other players, so the thing is, just be positive. We're going to have that positive mentality. The supporters will be making a hell of a noise. I just hope theirs are safe or not, because they police over there, they're a bit mad mental, you know.
Your boys will be fine. They don't get up to any trouble, so they'll be fine.
No, they don't. No,
They'll be good. There's Angus saying, enjoying the show as always, guys. He would start with Eggman and Dessels tomorrow night.
I would be inclined to do that at home, but I'm just thinking maybe an extra midfielder in terms of Haji, because he'll do the defensive side. I think he sees things, better than an Eggman, better than a Bajrami. So we've got to be switched on defensively, and that's sometimes people think, oh, you've got to have real defenders. No, it's just guys that are a wee bit cute, clever, know where to position themselves to make it awkward for the opposition. Haji's an experienced boy now. He's a midfielder, but he can still cause a threat because he's got a terrific strike on him. So I agree with that. I would have a nigger man in my side every day of the week, but I just think needs must tomorrow. So can he come on and affect the game? Surely he can. So aye.
There's John Keane, and I actually agree with this, because obviously when there's other teams in Europe looking at our home performances against like the likes of Ross County and all that, they must be thinking, God, they're god awful, you know what I mean? But there's John Keane saying Rangers are one of the underrated sides in Europe. We can do this. We're always punching above our weight. The show is brilliant as always. Getting loads of compliments tonight, which is good to see what happens when Charlie's not here.
No, but the guys are right. It's like we struggle against a team that sits in a low block. For whatever reason it is, it's something that you would think when you look at the players, that some of them have got quite good technical players, but it is what it is. But so when teams come at us, they're a wee bit more open. And I'm going to go back to this all one. I always think that there's a mentality where the foreign players and sometimes English players, they look down on us. They think about our football in a negative way, and they just think, we just need to turn up and we'll roll them over. So all the wee things that all work in our favour, I think. So, and it'll be fine lines tomorrow. It could be, I hope it's no, I was going to swear there. I hope it's no a VAR decision or something. I just hope it's a real bit of quality play that we produce that gets us a win and takes us into the semis.
Aye, there's Paul saying a wee shout out, a massive game for the women's team tonight against Glasgow City. It's on Alba tonight.
Right, I'll need to hold my hands up. I don't watch a lot of the women's football, to be honest with you.
I'm the same.
I'm not having a dig. Of course, I'm not. I would never have a dig at women because women are very important in our life, aren't they? Well, they're the boss, the rulers. So no, I just don't tend to watch a lot of women's football.
I think when the scorelines are like 14-1 and things like that, it's just something right.
I know you see some of that, but it's I don't know. And I'm saying that, and I've got 3 granddaughters, so then I'll be see my 9-year-old. I'm trying to get her into football, and she's not having it, right? So my other granddaughters are, well, one's just born. And then I've got a 2.5-year-old, wee Lake, who's over in Italy. And see, when I try to get them into football, I get into trouble for the women.
Aye.
So maybe that's how I'm not watching women's football, because I'm not allowed to make my granddaughters football players.
Oh, I'm actually going to watch it tonight. I'm going to go and sit and watch it tonight. No.
I know what game I'm watching. I'm going to watch the Real Madrid game.
I'll give a wee review next week. There's Donald. He's saying he would start Derek and Barry Ferguson in front of Deal Mandy.
Certainly start Barry. I think he's a wee bit more fitter than me.
You played against Barry, didn't you? You never played with him at any point.
Only once. I played against him. That was when I was at Dunfermline. I was gubby then. My knee was done in, but it was a kind of. It was nice. It was a kind of a special moment because you want him to do well. Of course you do. You want him to be, and then he turned out to be absolute top drawer. So it's interesting to see how he's handling this. He's enjoying it. You can see it. So see, I don't keep in touch too much with Barry, as you know. He's got other things going on in his life, and then all of a sudden he's landed the manager's job at Rangers. So, but you can see that he just wants to. He wants to install that winning mentality into the players, Sometimes, as much as you try, it's hard. Sometimes you've either got that, if you're no got it. So sometimes it's black and white, as simple as there's something you can't give to players. You can show them things, you can walk them through things, but can you give them that drive, that determination? Sometimes that just comes from within.
I think it must be so frustrating for him when, like, you've played for them, he's played for them, and he's both done well, and you know what it means to be a Rangers player, you know, and you must see some of the players and just know that they've not got it.
And you've heard them. You say it's about standards, and the standards is not just doing the football part. That runs right through. It's how you conduct yourself. So he just wants winning. He wants a winning mentality. So some players come and they maybe don't quite grasp what we're all about, and I think that's what he finds probably quite hard at times as well. So that they don't grasp it. So sometimes, and that's how I'm thinking it's quite good he's got that Neill McCann and wee Billy Dawes, because I kind of know them a wee bit. So I think they're quite a good foil for him, you know. So after the heat of the battle of the game, when you sit down with the guys and you just go through things and you calmly and you talk about things, I think they'll be pretty good for Barry.
Right, definitely.
Score predictions brought to you by Avia Signs.
I'll go first. I think we're going to win 1-0. I think we're going to score quite early.
You just says that, right? Because that's what I'm thinking.
Aye. I think we're going to score quite early, and it's going to be a pure nervy, like 85 minutes.
I'm going to go the opposite of that, but I think we'll nick it. We'll nick it 1-0. But I think we'll try and, because the atmosphere will be electric earlier on. We've got to try and kill that. And if we do, and I'm pretty sure we can, and you take it into latter stages, I can see us nicking one. And one of the callers said earlier, you introduce a nigger man into that side who can go past 3 or 4 players and stick one in the top corner. That's how I'm visualising it. That's what I'm seeing.
Aye. Do you know, like, I'm going to be totally positive here. When we go through tomorrow night, have you seen the dates? So the first leg is on the 1st of May, and we're playing Celtic on the 4th of May. And then the second leg's on the 8th of May. Why do the SPFL, the SFA, why do they not try and help us out? You know, it's happened before. You know, it's crazy.
It's happened before. It's happening again, and it will happen again. It's ridiculous. You look at all the other teams in Europe and that, they do as much as they can to help their own in times of need when they're in Europe, when big games are coming up. So, you're right to mention that, Ricki.
And there's thinking, you know, we do go through, win the game in the first, you know, what kind of team do you put against Celtic? You know?
Well, that's why I'm saying he's got to. That's why I was saying I think maybe Robin Proper will be playing a few more games because things like that, you know. Hope Fernandes will be back fit. Inshallah, who's still learning again, he'll come on. But we need these guys. McCausland makes a mistake, you know. So we've got to keep these boys. Have got to keep us. Somebody's ringing my doorbell, and I'll need to answer it.
Right, no worries. Well, that sounds, we're finished anyway. So, thanks again for coming and watching us. We will be back next Tuesday. It'll be myself, Derek, and Charlie. Thanks to all our sponsors. And in fact, Derek, you go and get the doorbell. All right. We'll see you next week. Take care.
Take care. Cheers.
Brought to you by our sponsors, the JR Group, Plugged In Business Solutions, DB Dental Care, Reflex Blue, The Right Software, Dev Provider, and Avia Signs. Our chosen charity partner is the Second Chance Project. We are now official agents for the Rangers Lotto. Find out more at www.allaboutthegers.co.uk.